Spinning the law, spinning the law.
Yes, with famed attorney Kendall Coffey. And welcome back, folks. We are joined now by Kendall Coffey, the one and only, as we go Spinning the Law. By the way, find his book by the same name, Spinning the Law. It's a fascinating read, all the fascinating high-profile cases of great national importance that Kendall has been involved in over the years. Hey, Kendall.
Hey, Steve, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, because I don't have Ebola, and I haven't come back from West Africa. However, we do have a young lady who's a nurse who arrived in New Jersey, and Christy had her put in quarantine. She threatened to sue, apparently, and that got her released from that hospital. She was put on a private jet, which was interesting to me since she's of no threat. Why she went on a private jet and not a public jet. Nonetheless, she flew back to her home in Maine, where they requested that she stay in her house. Today, she spit in everybody's face, figuratively speaking, by riding her bike in public for the media and saying, "I'm not going to stay in anymore," with her boyfriend, by the way, and is vowing to fight in court if the state of Maine goes to court to keep her quarantined. So tell us, I know we talked about this last week or the week before, but now we have actual instances. There's also one in Connecticut I want to talk about. What is the state's right here? Can they lock her up against her will for the 21 days?
Well, they probably can. In human terms, it seems so frustrating to think that somebody who is innocent can be treated like a criminal. And in fact, that person may feel completely healthy. They're saying, why on earth is this going on? I feel great. I've tested disease-free. But when it comes to contagious and serious and dangerous diseases, the federal government, the state governments, and the local government within the Constitution can exercise a lot of power. They can't do it arbitrarily, of course, Steve. They can't do it for something that isn't a very serious and contagious disease. But there's pretty well settled cases going back to the Supreme Court, things involving everything from smallpox and tuberculosis, to say that if they've got a reasonable basis for a concern, and if it is one of those highly contagious, deadly diseases, yeah, they can quarantine you. They can't do it forever. At some point, somebody who's being quarantined can get a court order saying enough is enough. But believe me, the state health officials are going to get a lot of latitude because there aren't too many judges that feel comfortable making a diagnosis about something as complex and bewildering as Ebola.
Right, and if a judge does decide, let's say it takes, I don't know how many of her 21 days are left, but let's say a judge decides and doesn't decide until the 21 days are up and says, yeah, you have a right to quarantine. That's a precedent in that particular state, then, that could be used for other people in her same situation, correct?
It could be, and people around the country are going to be watching this. There are certainly other people, Lord willing, not too many, but other people are going to be facing these issues of quarantine. But the courts have come down pretty firmly in favor of the health authorities, as long as they seem to be trying to do their jobs, relying on the best information available. They're going to err on the side of confinement and quarantine rather than take a chance that somebody who could be deadly to others is turned loose in the population.
Right. Now in Milford, Connecticut, at an elementary school, I believe it was, a man is suing because his daughter's just back from West Africa, although it was supposedly was not one of the 3 or 4 countries that has an Ebola outbreak. But the school, to be safe, wants to keep her away for 21 days, and he's suing. If it's not, she's not a healthcare worker. Obviously, she's a child. Is that a different case in your legal view?
Well, children have constitutional rights too, Steve, but they usually have a lesser standard, and there's usually going to be even more discretion afforded to school officials than healthcare officials who are dealing with primarily an adult population. So if they have a basis to think that she could be infected and it's being done in good faith, then there's a pretty good chance they'll win. Now, if they can make the case that there's nobody in, for example, I think it may have been Nigeria, I don't remember the country, but if there's nobody in that country with any reported cases of Ebola, and it's just being done because the students' reentry into class would be controversial, would be something that would bother other students, that could be a different case. It's okay.
Gotcha.
And you can't constitutionally prevent people from being controversial. The question is, one, is there a real health care risk? And two, even if there isn't, would there be such an anxiety, almost a panic level throughout the school if a student returned that it could be fundamentally disruptive? If it reached that level of disruptiveness, then there could be a separate basis for asking the student to stay home.
And you're right, it is Nigeria, Kendall. Hey, Kendall, great, educational as always. Thank you, my friend.
Hey, thank you, Steve.
Kendall Coffey. We're coming back. The Hispanic vote. Don't go away.